In this lesson, we're going to be adding a where clause to our select statements. You can think of a where clause as a type of filter for your data based on some type of condition. In the previous lessons, with our select statement, we were extracting which columns we wanted from our users table. So with the asterisk, we were selecting all columns from our users table, including all the records. And then we were selecting a certain set of columns separated by a comma from our users table, again with all the records. So with our where clause, we can filter those records. So for example, let's say from our users table, we wanted to select all columns where the user ID is equal to 1. So the condition is the user ID has to equal 1. So here, let's take a look at the statement for a second. So we're doing a select keyword again, the asterisk, to signify that we want all columns from our users table, which is the name of our table, where, and then our condition, where the user ID column is equal to 1. And below you can see that it returns only one record, where the user ID is equal to 1, and then we have the name, the email, and password included since we're using an asterisk. So let's say we only wanted to select one column from the users table and not select every single column. So you can do the same thing that we learned in the previous lessons and apply it here. So now we're just selecting the name column from our users table, which is the name of our table, where, and then the same condition. And this would return only the column name from the users table and only one record. In this next lesson, we're going to be adding multiple conditions to our where clause. So let's say we want to select all the columns, but we wanted to do it based on two separate conditions. So how would we do that, for example? So let's take a look at the statement again for a second. So we have our select statement again, the asterisk to signify that we want all columns from the name of our table, our where clause, and our two conditions. So our first condition is the name column has to equal John Doe. And then separated is our second condition by an and. So and user ID is equal to 1. So the and signifies that both of these conditions have to be true for the record to display. So as you can see below that we have our user ID is equal to 1 and the name is equal to John Doe. So this record fits both these conditions. We can also take the and out and have an or, and that would mean that either or have to be true. So if we had multiple records where either condition was true, we would see all those records in the below table. So let's recap the two lessons that we just learned. So in the first lesson, we did a where clause with just one condition where the user ID equals 1 and it brought back one record. And we did it with an asterisk to bring back all our columns. And we also said we did select name just to bring back the name column. In the second lesson, we're using two conditions separated by an and statement, and both statements have to be true for the record to display.